Hi, and welcome to the Compassion Project. I'm here today with Lesley Rosas, and we're going to play a game of Cool to Connect. So I'm super excited. Welcome, Lesley.
Thank you, Jane. I'm so thankful to be here, and I'm so excited to play your game.
Yeah, it's fun. So a little bit about Lesley. Her and I actually did a chat for the Compassion Project on November 24th, and we heard her incredible story. She lives in Northern California with her husband, Augie, and they have a combined family of 17 children and 13 grandchildren, which is amazing. So this woman is beautiful inside and out, and she is resilient, and she's inspiring and determined to make a difference. Lesley is an inspired life coach, and her mission is to help women who are suffering heal themselves and live a life full of joy and purpose. And she has an inspired coaching program that's going to be coming out soon in February sometime.
February.
It's called Unstoppable. So super excited about that, and I'm excited you're here. So I'm going to explain this game for people that don't know what it is. It's called Cool to Connect. It was created by Dana Clark, a beautiful young woman in Toronto, and she has a website called Heroic Humans, and this is part of it. So the idea is to create connection, like deep, meaningful, thought-provoking questions that create a deeper connection. So it always makes me a little nervous because we don't know what questions we're going to get. And so just so people know, there's 52 cards, and I have actually gone through all of these already. I've played a lot of games, but I do not look at them ahead of time. So I have a few surprise ones left, and we're going to pick 3, and then we'll decide who's going to answer it first, and we'll go from there. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shuffle these little ones up because I think there's 6 or 7 in here, and then okay. First question. It always seriously does make me nervous every time. So cool to connect. Oh, you're gonna love this. This is perfect. List 5 things you are grateful for. Gratitude is my favorite word.
Yes.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yes, I would love to go first.
Oh, okay.
My number 1 is I'm so grateful for freedom. And I'm not talking about just physical freedom, but freedom from within my heart. Freedom from weights that hold us down, so many of us face those heavy things in our life, and when we can learn how to unlock them and free ourselves from them, that's just an amazing life to live, isn't it?
Amazing. I love it.
So that's my number 1. I'm so grateful for my husband, Augie. He's an amazing man. He's a gift from God. He's so special and kind. And what he represents to me is hope for others who are lonely, who are alone on this journey and want a relationship. The story of, and we'll have to talk about that another time, but the story of me meeting Augie is incredible. And I just love it. It's the greatest love story in the world.
Oh, I would love to share that story one day. I should do a day where it's a love story or a story. That would be cool.
Start doing love stories.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
I'm grateful for my children and my grandchildren. And, my children have come out of abuse themselves. Many of them have endured enormous abuse. One of my sons, my second son, was the target, one of the main targets of abuse in our past life. And, he is such a gentleman. He is such a kind-hearted person. And I highlight him here because Adam is the man that gave his best friend's wife his kidney and saved her life.
Yes. Wow.
Adam is the one this Christmas in their neighborhood where they live. A father took off. He's an alcoholic. He took off and abandoned his wife and children, 3 children. And the wife is struggling with 2 jobs to, keep her children clothed and fed, and all that entails. well, Christmas is here, and in this neighborhood, the kids live right across the street from the school, and it's just a big deal in this neighborhood for them all to ride bikes. And they have their bicycle parade at Christmas, and so these children of in the neighborhood were bringing their bikes down to my son, and he was fixing them, repairing them really regularly. Long story short, he left them bikes this Christmas in their front
Oh,
yard,
so
in the
kind.
snow. They took him out in the snow, and he said he got up at 4 a.m. because it hadn't snowed enough to cover the tracks. So he went out and brushed away the tracks and ran circles the opposite way, left a note from the elves. And that's the kind of thing I just give so much gratitude to, because when you're leaving a bad situation with your children, your main thought is for your children and what is going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So that's 3.
I love this. Yeah. Well, and for
so
anyone watching, just so a little bit to know Lesley, because she does have a combined family of 17 children, 13 grandchildren. She left a really tough situation. Lived in, can you say, what was it? Where were you living before you met, when you left?
I was in the Mennonite community.
Mennonite community, yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
I left.
She was in a Mennonite community and left with her children. And that's where, when you talk about if there was some abuse, like your kids, the life they were living before.
Yes.
And so it's interesting because your sons, truly, when someone has been through a lot in their life, they do tend to be empathetic people, right?
Yeah. Well, they choose one or two things. And I say choose because it is a choice. But either they're the kind of personality that holds on to the anger and the pain so deeply that they become immobilized and they cannot be, they try to cover their pain with maybe drinking,
right?
Or violence. They become not an asset to the community, but a weight.
Right.
So, of course, I wanted my children to turn out well, and I'm highlighting my second son, but there's so many of them have done all of them have done so well.
Oh, you're such a good
that's
role
just
model.
every morning I just raise my hands and give gratitude for that, because, oh my goodness, it could have gone so much. It could have gone the wrong way. It could have just spiraled downhill for me, but it hasn't. It hasn't.
Okay, this is amazing. Totally love it.
Okay, so that's 3 things I'm grateful for. Of course, I'm grateful for our home. We live on 12 acres. We live in a beautiful area. And when I left with a 10-man tent and my kids.
Wow.
And our clothes. And that was 10 years ago. Today, I live in a 3,000 square foot house on 12 acres. And who would have ever dreamed that would have happened for me? So I have so much gratitude for that.
I can see in your face, like talking about gratitude, I can feel your gratitude.
Yeah. Yes. And ultimately, I am so grateful for my community of friends, women that have gathered around me, and women that don't even know me, that have influenced me with their stories and their lives. Women like Oprah Winfrey, Maya Camarada, Danette May, yourself, Jane, and women that you've had on here. There's so many people in our communities online, even, that we can connect to on YouTube, where we can learn so much from each other. Tools, there's just amazing tools. So I'm very grateful for that.
Love it. This is perfect. This is why she's an inspired life coach. That was
if we're not growing and being inspired ourselves, like you were talking before we came on here, you were talking about how you inspire yourself. We were sharing about that. But if we're not inspired by others, if we're not coached by others, if we're not growing, then we have nothing to give back because we're stuck, right?
Yeah.
Never too late to grow and expand. And I'm just so grateful for tools to do that.
Yeah, it's true. Wow. Honestly, that was amazing. I loved your answers.
This morning I was listening to Lisa Nichols. Oh my gosh, that woman is so inspiring.
Oh, she is amazing. I haven't listened to her that much, but I should start. Yeah. Okay, so my 5. I think I should have gone first, and you could have actually.
Did I steal yours? It's okay.
No, but I'm literally, gratitude is something that has changed my life completely. And so it's a really good question, but I actually have come to the place where I am so unbelievably grateful that I am grateful. And I don't know if you get that, but I am
I
so
do get
grateful that I have discovered gratitude, which sounds crazy because it has truly changed me. And it's, I think I used to always, it brings me into the present moment. It may, if you're going through a bad time and your mind is worried about the future or you're upset about the past, if you just look around and you're grateful for something, to actually realize, like some people wake up and they don't have their sight. We take it for granted. So if you can actually wake up and say thank you, the first thing you say when you wake up, and you create a habit in your brain, like a pathway for gratitude, you will go there throughout the day. And it will change your life. I used to be in a hurry all the time. We're gonna walk the dog, go. Now I'm like, oh my goodness, the trees are so beautiful. I'm so thankful for my husband. Like I feel it. And it is a practice. So it's something that I've realized that you can't, if you say, oh no, I'm a grateful person, I am thankful. Those are more just words, and that's how I used to be. But when you practice it, feel it deeply, create this pathway in your brain that is deep for gratitude, you will go there all day long. You will catch yourself in the middle of chaos with children and noise being like, take a minute. This noise is beautiful. I am blessed. I am grateful. It really truly has changed my life. So if I was to say 5 things, I mean, that's the number one thing, but it is things truly like my sight. I'm so grateful that I have sight, and it's more even than just seeing. I'm seeing more than just what's in front of me. Like I feel, yeah. And then, of course, my incredible husband, we've been married for 34 years. He lifts me up. He loves me unconditionally. He loved me when I was broken, when I was 20 years old. He just is that person that is always there. And, my life, I don't know what I'd be without him. And so that goes into family, and grateful for my relationships right now with my mom and my dad, because we've had some difficult times. It was more, I look at myself more now than I think I used to struggle in some relationships, and I would want people to change. And now I realize I had to change, not my personality, but I had to become stronger and more confident, knowing that we are all important. And like, you get your posture, and you so I'm also grateful for personal growth. How many have I named, Lesley?
I don't know. I think it's all wonderful. I love what you said in the beginning, that you're grateful for gratitude, because, to sum that up, like our gratitude is our compass. It's our, what do you call that? That the sure north, or the due north, because when we have gratitude, it changes up everything in our bodies. It's a physiology. Oh goodness, I'm going to say that word wrong. Yeah, it's physical, it's biological, it's chemical for us.
Yeah,
because our words and our thoughts are so powerful within our bodies and what it creates in our bodies. So it's like a wheel beginning to roll.
I know.
It just grows in momentum.
Yeah, it does. So I think I'm very grateful for personal growth and the journey I'm on with that, because the more you do, the more you learn. There's layers and layers. And I have learned to drop all expectations of people and let them do and be and feel exactly how they need to, and not take anything personally. And if someone does or says something, I will say in my head, they're entitled to do and be and say whatever they want. Is how I react that causes the problem. And it's changed my relationship with people. And I'm super grateful that I can go out in the world now and be like, no, I'm good. No one's going to say something that could hurt me, because you just instead feel love, or, I don't hold, I used to take stuff personally, and that's not easy in a relationship. Now it's like, just send them love, move on.
Yeah.
Okay. I did 5 in there. I'm not as organized as you. I was like,
you did perfect. I loved everything you said.
Okay, so the next question, we got 2 more. That was
okay.
Great. Oh, now this is so different, but I think you'll like this too.
Okay.
Where I have to think about this one. Where do you feel stuck?
Mm, this is a good
It is
question.
a
This
good
is
question.
actually a question I sat on for the new year. I
Really?
did a vision board I'm still working on, and I always do everything over the top, right? I always think, well, I have 12 kids, I got to do everything big, cook big, make big. And I bought one of the trifold big black, things to do my vision board
Oh
on.
yeah.
I got to fill that thing up.
So
But that
stuck.
that
Yeah.
question of being stuck, and I was sitting with that on New Year's Eve, working on my vision board. And the thing that came up for me is not good enough. Not good enough. And how many of us feel that way? Like we're not good enough. We don't have what it takes in this life. We're not powerful enough. We're not thin enough. We're not smart enough. Our experience isn't powerful enough. Our words aren't powerful enough. And the truth is that we're all enough. We just have to
Yeah.
own it, right? We have to own, like you were saying you don't care what people think anymore. You're working on that. You don't care what they think. It's okay. Not everyone's going to like us. Well, for myself, like that has been an issue for me. Am I enough? And yeah, I am unstucking myself from not being good enough, not being
Oh,
powerful enough.
because you're incredible. And sometimes I wish we
Thank
could
you,
all
Jean.
see each other the way I see you, and
Right.
who you are and your heart, and
Hmm.
you truly are an amazing person. And so when I hear you say, oh, you what, like feeling stuck in that you might not be good enough, it's like, oh my God, how many people feel that? And it's so interesting. I just find it so interesting because we can go out in the world and we're like, oh, I'm good. When people say, well, how are you saying? I'm great. We're all great, right? And then, but underneath the layers, no, the real side is no, I'm human like everyone else, and we go through struggles and we don't always feel confident. Yeah, so that's an interesting question. Where do you feel stuck? I have to think about this one because I was telling Lesley this before, was approached by Peace 360 Initiative. It's a new nonprofit, global nonprofit organization, all about creating peace in the world. And it was started by an incredible man, Chris Rajha from Wisconsin, and it is growing fast. And we have 3 areas, like helping with mental health, conflict resolution, and disaster relief. It's unbelievable. So I've joined as director of public relations, and I have to say, they believe in me more than I believe in myself. And I came almost up to a wall of like, what? Like, why? I'm just Jane doing the Compassion Project. I'm not, oh, Chris is like, no, I want you to come on and we're going to do some chats and interview people. And I realized I didn't have confidence in myself. And I thought it's how you talk to yourself. I had to be like, no, I am good at this. I am capable. I am caring and empathetic, and talk to myself positive, because you start to get like, if you are stuck in some way, you start to get your body language is like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. You get like
Mhm.
shrinking, and it's
Mhm.
like, no, step forward, embrace
Mhm.
it. What's the worst thing can happen? We never fail, we learn.
Mhm.
So, and knowing that we're all going through things and people aren't judging us, we judge ourselves, really,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So, and
So,
then
and the
yeah,
next question is like, how do you get unstuck? If you're stuck, like a viewer stuck in something, how do they get unstuck?
they just have to walk through it and put their shoulders back, and they have to take that step, and like, instead of being fearful, like you said before, was fear is the same as excitement. We get the same feeling in our body.
Mhm.
Switch your mindset, right?
Yes.
Take the step,
Yes. And
which I
so,
did.
like, one of my triggers for not feeling like I'm enough is that I'll get words mixed up, right? So I will use a word that's not the right word when I'm under stress. And I have learned that when I use the wrong word, the right word is I write it down. I write that word down so that I can go back and look at what was it that hung me up? What was the word I used? So when we're stuck, examining what we're stuck in and analyzing it through a different filter,
Oh yeah,
changing that
that's good.
filter up, So like you're analyzing how well you're presenting through the filter of Jane. But if you, every time you go on for the 360, you analyze it through the filter of the person that asked you to do it, you see a different situation, you see a different Jane, right?
Yeah, we are so hard on ourselves. I think because we're learning and I think we have to continue learning that. I think in a way it's, you don't ever want to get to the point where you're like, I am good. You want to keep pushing and getting better and learning, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, someone posted, someone put, hi, beautiful ladies, love this game.
Oh,
Cute. We have one more question to go.
okay.
That was a question, right?
That was a good
hello.
question.
They not showing the names, but okay. So, are you ready for the third and final question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Kind of fun, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Dana Clark, for her amazing questions. Oh my goodness.
Just mix it back in. Mix it back in quick. No, somebody has to answer this question. Come on, Jane.
Now Leslie's like, give it to me.
Stalling.
What
like, is Lesley going to answer this? I don't know what to say.
What are 3 lessons you had to learn the hard way? Oh, 3.
Okay, I can start that.
I
can start that one.
Oh, good.
I think I shared before when you interviewed me in November that I married a man I didn't love.
When you were young, yes.
Everything in me screamed no. No, no, no. I cried for 2 weeks. No, don't do it. My father asked me before he walked me down the aisle, do you want to go out the back door? We can leave now. And I did not listen to my intuition. And that was one of the biggest life lessons to me. So anytime I feel a no in my spirit, I really stop and listen. If it's not a heck yes, then it's a no.
Wow. Good for you.
So the question was about life lessons.
What are 3 lessons you had to learn the hard way?
The hard way.
Okay.
Ooh, that's one of them.
That's powerful.
Yes. Maybe you have one and I'll think again.
Okay. Oh goodness. Okay. When I was a young girl, I had an eating disorder. So when I was 16, very, very hard lesson as a young girl to, like, I felt, there was an age when you think you're free to be yourself, that beautiful age, could be pre-teens. You're just you and you're free and you're just being, and all of a sudden someone says something, or maybe calls you fat, and all of a sudden you take, like, I am, and you look at yourself differently, like, maybe I am, and then I want to be like the other girls, and then I started starving myself down to like 90 pounds. I think I was 120 pounds, a healthy weight, which I am now, exactly, down to like 90 pounds, and then really struggled through that for 4 years, 5 years. And actually that's part of my love story with my husband, is I was like a wreck. He literally loved me to health. Like, truly, I healed because of him seeing me. And so that lesson is really, really hard, because when you go through something like that, you struggle your whole life to have a positive, healthy body image. And it's only now, and I'm in my 50s, that I realize it's my thoughts, how I think. So instead of looking at yourself and thinking, oh, I feel fat, or starting this New Year's off like, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds. No, how about, I am beautiful. I am healthy. My body is amazing. I'm grateful. So my mindset, it took years, but to be completely healed, hard lesson.
Yes.
There's one, your turn.
There's so many people that go through that too. I have been hearing eating disorders are on the rampage. Yes. I'm so glad that you're healed from that.
Yeah, it's a journey, but you know, now you look back at your life and you realize that all these things that you go through all the good, all the bad, really do
Mhm.
lead you to where you are, as long as you can learn, I think, and move forward and learn from each and get stronger. And then you can
Yeah.
hopefully get back and help other people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one lesson I learned the hard way is that you cannot change somebody else. It's all up to them. It's You can't never change yourself for somebody else in hopes to change them or change their mind. You'll lose yourself in it.
Yeah, that's powerful for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
That's
and I
a good
learned
one.
that the hard way, trying to be everything for my ex and never being able to obtain. And to the point where I was like, there's nothing else for me to change or do or be. I don't even know who I am anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
Hmm.
All right, do you want me to do one?
Yeah.
Uh, okay, this is fun going back and forth. So I would say lesson the hard way. Oh, oh my goodness. So when we left, I used to live in Edmonton for 30 years.
Hmm.
My family lived here, my mom and dad and sisters and that. And so when I was that broken girl, we moved away. My husband we married and moved away and had this
Hmm.
whole life there. Never ever healed kind of that broken girl past. And coming back here was the hardest move I've ever had. We moved back to the city Kelowna, and um, I didn't realize how broken my mind was. And
Mm.
I was always putting on that image of like, I'm good, I'm great, everything's fine, not telling people that I was struggling. And I got to a really deep, dark place. And so that the biggest lesson was me learn learning the lesson to be grateful for what I had, because I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life, and I'm in the same home where we moved. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what I had right in front of me. I
Mhm.
would just wake up and I'd be lost in the heaviness of the past
Mhm.
and what my life used to be like, and then I would be worried about the future. And then so the lesson to learn to get yourself in the present moment took a long time, but
Mhm.
now I'm good. But I still need work every
Yeah.
day to keep the positive mind. I have to work on it.
Does that connect back to your gratitude? Did it
Yeah.
shift when you started in with gratitude?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That the lesson, just to see what's right in front of you. Even if you're going through a bad time, there's always something in front of you that you have that you can focus on that can bring you a feeling of joy. It's
Mhm.
just, yeah. But we have
I
to
like
go through
that so
pain to
much.
grow. Yeah.
Yes. I like that so much. There's a saying that's what you focus on expands. And that was the beginning of my gratitude journey, was that focusing on, instead of focusing on all had happened to me and seeing myself as this victim, but to focus on what's ahead. What can I learn? What can I do with what's happened? And it
Yeah.
sounds like that's what you were doing as well, is you
Yeah.
shifted from, oh no, I'm here, to, oh my gosh, I have so much to be
I
grateful
know.
for.
But it was, I would say there was a good 3 or 4 years in there of I would, if something would happen, like if I'd go and one of my family members, and they were doing great. It was just that I wasn't feeling good about myself. So if they said something that I would take personally and get hurt, I would come
Mhm.
home and be thrown to my knees. I would literally be crying. And I started printing off things positive and put them in the gym, and I would go down and read them every day, drill them into my head, like drill them like Zig Ziglar, Born to Win, like knowing that every single person on this earth is born for greatness, that I am okay, I'm great. Like I had to drill it into my brain to create new healthy pathways and heal the old ones of what I was not good enough.
Yay!
So,
Okay, my third one. I have my third one.
okay, what is it?
This has been a very good lesson for me. Not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to love you. Those are not your people. I learned this a few years ago. I decided I was going to be the healthiest, hottest mom of 12 in the world. So I really focused. I put my focus all on that. And I worked really hard at it. And I was very successful. And But along that journey, a lady messaged me one day and she said, it's all about you. I'm so tired of seeing you and your posts all about you and your weight loss and I took that upon myself. And that circumstance along with a few other things that happened, because these kinds of things don't just happen by themselves. Sometimes it's just snowballs being thrown at us. I quit everything.
Wow.
And this past month, I had some friends that I was talking with and sharing this story with, and I said, yeah, I still have her message on my phone. And they were like, what? Why do you have that message on your phone? And I was like, well, to remind me not to be all about me, and they were like, no, take it off, get it off your phone. And it was just such a good lesson for me. When I removed that from my phone, I was so freed up. And I thought, okay, I've been holding on to this girl's negative, untrue opinion about me. She doesn't know me. She doesn't know my heart. She doesn't know that my goals were to become fit and healthy. Those were my ways of coping with what had happened to me. She didn't know any of this, but I identified myself according to her opinion. When there were, so here's one opinion over here, and there were hundreds of other opinions over here, and I took the one negative opinion and focused on it. So I have learned some people are not your people. Not everybody's going to like you or like what you're doing, and that's okay. Yeah. Be okay with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. And what's interesting about that too is that you took that personally and stopped you in your tracks, and it's like what she didn't know. There's a line, what you don't know that you don't know about that person. So, someone will do or say something and she doesn't know your personal struggles. No. And so I think that's why I really like doing the Compassion Project and doing these games, because you hear someone's true story. Like we're all human. And if you assume that someone is, their life is great, look at them and all they're doing, and then you realize that no, they're putting that out because they want to feel happy, but they're really struggling. That's where we connect. You connect when people share their real true. You get underneath the layers. So,
and isn't that what the name of this game is?
Cool. It's cool to connect. So I was thinking of it. So the final lesson, there's so many really, but I think the biggest is now, did I say this one? For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. I didn't say that. That is my most powerful. I think it was Jim Rohn that said that. And it was one of the things I wrote up. For things to change, you need to change. For things to change, for things to get better, you need to get better. And I would read it, and my brain didn't really get it, because it almost made me upset, because it'd be like, I'm a nice person. I don't have to change. That person that's mean should change, or the person I'm not that hurt me should change. They should be more loving. They should be more forgiving. And I was always thinking, like, I don't have to change. I was almost upset about it. Yeah. And then I realized and people need to know, when you do personal growth, you listen to something else, go back to the first one, you'll hear something different as you're learning. I've listened to some CD sets 20 times. 15 times over and over. For things to change, you have to change. So one day I had listened to this and read it and not really got it. And then something happened with someone and I was so hurt, so upset, took it so personally. And I thought, if only they could be nicer. And then I read that and I thought, oh, I don't have to change who I am. I have to change my mindset. I have to be stronger. I have to have my shoulders back. I have to let things bounce off me and know that it's not about me. It's not
you have
about
to stand in your power.
Yeah, like for things to
stand in your power.
It means that you have to grow and become stronger and better, know your worth, and know that everyone is on their own journey, going through their own struggles, and we're all together and connected. That's really what it's about. And so that is freeing. When you realize that, it's freeing, right?
Very, very, very. I love
that.
Those
are some deep questions, but it was good.
Those were great questions.
Yes. Oh, it's almost like you're more than enough, Lesley. This is
thank you.
Thank you for playing, Lesley, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you for inviting me, Jane. This has been this has just been wonderful. I just love it. I love
Aw,
what you're doing.
it's been a beautiful journey, the Compassion Project. I will love 2020 for that, for the Compassion
Mhm.
Project coming out of it, and for leading me to Peace 360 and all the people I've met. And I'll
Mhm.
just keep doing it, connecting, having fun. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Those were some amazing questions. And have an amazing 2021.